Hey guys, Alex here. Welcome back to another episode of the Home Show Unlimited, and today's episode is sponsored by Dale's Pastries. So they sent over a lot of pastries for me to try today. So we have the banana cake with chocolate and nuts, and we also have brownies and two chocolate cakes. Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of the Home Show Unlimited, and today's guest is a very special guest. He's the Executive Branch Director of AXA and a Titanium GAMA Awardee. So please help me welcome Mr. Francis Endaya. Hi, Ninong!
Yay! Maayong hapon sa tanan.
He's also our
afternoon.
Ninong in our wedding.
Good afternoon to your viewers, Miss Alex.
Yes, Miss Alex na yun.
Yes,
Good
Mrs.
afternoon.
Alex Jingaw.
Mrs. Mrs. So, Nino, I wanted to interview you because we really, like my husband and I, we learn a lot from you every time we drop by sa inyong house or every time we have our coffee shop chats, katong pre-pandemic pa. Karon we're trying to limit na on face-to-face na interaction. But we learn a lot from you about, mainly about leadership. So that's why I also wanted to interview you para we can ma-share ni mo yung knowledge to our viewers, those who are interested in building their own teams, interested in running a business through either insurance or sales in general. Kaya kaning tanan aspects kailangan man gid ni og leadership na skills. So let us share kung unsa imong story, share sa viewers unsa imong story. How did you come to start with AXA? When did you start with the company?
Actually, no, I was invited pa man 2007 when I became a policy holder. And the reason why we got policies, kami sa akong girlfriend now, my wife, was months before that, we had a car accident, total wreck dude. And at that time, single pa ko, my dependent was my mom. She was critically ill with Alzheimer's and stroke. So, ang mami kong girlfriend told me na, Francis, kung para my sole provider, if something happens to you, kasi burden imong mabilin. So, I suggest you get an insurance. So, nami company insurance, na wala kayo na ko na-appreciate. So, being single, wala kay, di man ka mindful na. So, nikuha rapod ko na. Minaw, may financial advisor. Ang financial advisor naman ito kay brother ni Kuya ni Jong, si Jibong. And kanay ko nga, hindi na ako kaya yung gabuhat ko, hindi na ako mabuhat it. He's so good, he's so clear with his presentation. And basta after 2 months ago, when I became financially ready, nikuha din kong policy sa AXA. Akong wife, girlfriend at that time, a month after, nikuha din siya. So, dili siya overnight na decision. And then, I was invited by his unit manager to join AXA, be one of the advocates. Ako, wala lang po, Jay.
So it was really through Kuya Jibong na you were able to join AXA. Like, he was the one who connected you to AXA.
Oo. Supposedly, I was connected to a financial advisor of Davao, but kung taga Davao, kaya las kagyan, okay, it would be convenient sa client to sabi ito kung na kay mga concerns, whatever, mas dool kung ang servicing advisor is just around. Importante maging after servicing. So, 2010, nabayad ko sa policy, gina-invite niya po sa unit manager si Sir Willie Barreto. So, ako po, out of respect, take na po itong exam, but kabalon ako take kong exam, pero digid ko may mga financial advisor kay we're planning to go to US at the time.
Yeah.
It was May 2010, and ready na me to fly to US July 2010. So, muto 2010 July, we flew to US and my wife was pregnant at the time. Dito sa New York pa yun kay sa Mid-Manhattan, nangaon nga ito gyro guys. Then sa likod, kinaday AXA agency office.
Okay.
Outside the Philippines, ang garan with insurance agency man. Agency, you go to Europe, you go to US, you go to Singapore or Hong Kong, to Malaysia. It's run by agency.
So what do you mean by agency? So for those who are not familiar with that term.
So there is Philippines, there are two channels man sa distribution sa insurance. So bank assurance, muna silang channel na based sa bangko. The one sharing or selling the product or the insurance is an employee of Metrobank. Now, agency din kami, maraming franchise or distributor ni AXA. We're not employed. There's no employee-employee relationship. We run the system. That's why it's important for us to take care of our clients kay amo maning distribution affected or ma-compromise niya ang among agency. So, muto 2000 after our endeavor sa New York, no, kan attempt no.
So how long did you stay in New York?
6 months.
To try to live the American dream.
6 months. 6 months. At first 2 months, I was so busy safely. Like, and I was, PNT ka na ko. Probably, but later, una rin na-think in ba, the meeting US trabaho sa gawas, but remember, you're earning dollars, you're spending dollars. And dili after pila ka months, siguro na kung magnegosyo ko sa Philippines, I could do more. So motong we decided to go home. So January 2011, we went back to the Philippines, and number one instruction sa akong wife at that time was save pangitag policy. Why? Because I'm a father without dami savings, wala po ko'y trabaho, and if something happens to me, dako kaya financial burden ako mabilin sa akong daughter na 2 months old and akong wife. Because we were so oriented dito sa US na people there are very dependent on insurances. So healthcare nila through insurance, ilang clean up fund if they be taken out of the picture, ang mubayad for burial and other financial mess nila, ang clean up fund. And then if they have dependents, para makakontinue to financially kung nabilin, they have income replacement programs through insurance as well. So kami, akong gi-assess akong policy na kuha kang gibong at pula gamay kayong sum assured. So that's why I decided to scout na window shopping ko. So nagtanaw ko sa other company and then nagtanaw ko sa AXA and then naingnan ako na sarili ng friends. Kung gusto ka makatipid, i-join AXA nila. So
you initially joined AXA so you could get a
because
discount
of the discount
on your policy.
Yeah, so I told my wife said, okay, wala mo kay gibuhat kayo. Jobless ko at that time and we're starting a business pa. So we joined AXA lang. Ako po di-join. Then upon training, dito ko na-fall in love with the idea of wealth management. I thought financial planning is for the rich people, but dito na ako na-realize nga, the more we plan our finances, if our income is limited. Claro?
Yeah.
So that's where I started. That's when I started.
So what were your challenges? What were your challenges when you started?
First, the challenge is
that was as a financial advisor pa.
Oh, the challenge is how to start, di ba? What are you going to talk about? First engagement or sister-in-law. What am I going to tell her? What am I going to chika, to share? Then, number 2, who are my probable markets? So, of course, you would always think of your friends. Tama? Friends. Since there's too much familiarity ba? So, pero me, majority your friends will just laugh at you because you're just starting and they know where you're coming from. Kabalos lang sa kabugoy or sa kalabad sa una. So, ako, honestly, I prayed to God. I surrendered the market to God. There's this one, ang kasi dahil suggested mo, you should join to sa mga dagko na organization diri sa kuan.
To expand your network.
Pero sa ako, Rapod, parehang church steps. Acknowledging that everything is owned by God, ito na ko ni-surrender. I prayed every day, every week, every month na tagan ko market. And daghan ko na kuha nga market na dili na ko kaila.
Yeah, even me as a real estate broker, when I first started, na most of my clients were people I didn't really know. Like, kanang strangers like yun na who would inquire. But for you, how did you market yourself or how did you market AXA?
Through referral naman, referral. And then, later mag-ila, later mag-storya, mangutana, kung trabaho na ko, mag-wonder. So, ako, mo share na po doon sa akong job description. Just tell them na my job is to inform people, I don't usually use the word educate. Right? Uban, they find it offensive. So, I just tell them that I give information on how to financially protect yourself against uncertainties. Then how to financially prepare yourself for the expected things like education sa bata or retirement mo, or you have any future goals that you're going to build businesses later or you're going to do charity and you retire. Kana akong gina-share lang.
So mainly through the referrals, Gita?
Oo.
So when did you, sige, ano to?
And di ba I started as a salesperson dito. For 10 years, akong background was salesman. But when I understood the purpose of financial planning, I changed my mindset. Instead of selling, I started sharing lang. So the objective here is to share, not to sell. Now, kung ma-share na ako, done ako sa objective. Kung dili mo palit, dili ko feeling rejected. Because I've done my part. Now, if they're going to buy, that's their job. That's their part to protect themselves because now they know. But if they're not going to do it, then it's not my loss. Not ako mindset.
So, when you say na you're more on sharing compared versus selling, do you mean to say na you don't follow up? Like after you share, you just leave it at that and you no longer follow up sa katong mga na-share?
If the client would tell me na as of now, wala pa po yung budget, but I will prepare for it. Kana mo follow up. But kung ang client na yun nga, sige lang, okay lang. Ma-feel naman mo, di ba? Okay, like that. But akong experience po, it's them who would make follow up on me. Di ba? Based on experience. So,
I
follow up it. If they understood the idea, sila na din ang makapas nila. And manang nailin mo text na ko, France, pabuhat ko ni France, magsugod na may France, na.
So when did you start leading people?
I have no intention of becoming a unit manager. At that time lang, I thought earning, my goal at that time was to beat my previous income. No? Gigan po telecom na industry. So, pag sugod ako AXA, my goal at that time was to beat my salary. Realistic. Then, katong na-beat na nako, niya na ako, i-beat na ko ang US na income. Then, pag-abot na ko na, I thought, reaching this level, like earning 150,000 in 1 month would make me happy. Kaya na po ko'y tao nga gusto i-surpass. Kaya naman tayo benchmark always. Ito, nagkadako na anak ko, di man maka-happy. But when I started, I thought of my friends. No, ito akong barkada si Paul. Yung girlfriend ko ni Paul, yung barkada ko. I will share the career to you. So, katong experience na niya, hitting 6 digits. Happy siya, but sa ako, fulfilled ko. Dahil it's joyful inside ba? Ang tungod sa mong partnership. So, I invited someone na po mo to si Milky, and then I kept on inviting people without the idea or the intention of becoming a unit manager. But akong boss, akong manager po sa una, nakita niya akong potential of kanang recruiting and developing people. That's when he said na din nga, France, mag-manager ka. Nga na ko, Tito, I couldn't see myself managing people. Kaya bitang, I have no background in commerce, I have no background in management. So, dako kikog pag-underestimate ang kagalingan. Ako day mismo ang nag-set of limitation. When, di ba? In terms of developing skills, there's no limit. Claro?
Yeah.
So, kato, I accepted the challenge. I joined the management training. Huwag po yung masabtan eh.
So
Naman ko yung
how soon was that after you joined as a financial advisor?
I was coded as financial advisor May 2011 man, no? Pagka June 2012, I joined the management training na. But I was leading, I had 5 people na at that time, and I was appointed as manager August 2012. Then 2013, I was the contender for Rookie Manager of the Year, and I ended the year being the top Rookie Manager of the Year of Philippines. Not because it's my intention to become the top, but my intention lang is to spread to many or to move, parang pay it forward to as many as you can.
Yeah, you just really wanted to like help more people through this
again,
avenue.
Underestimating myself. I'm from Paguendeor, and my competitors are coming from Alabang, coming from Ortigas. So, but ano to na mo magyapong top.
So, what were the challenges that you encountered in leadership?
In leadership, no, lucky for me nga naka-attend to this orientation at sa ABAS for Child Montessori. And there are 2 systems, educational system and the traditional, the Montessori system. Now, the traditional system is applicable for employment. Tama. You share, the boss will command all employees to do this, and kung kinsa itong mga perform, okay, kung dili, out. Now, in agency leadership, it's more on tailor-fitting your leadership or customizing your leadership to your subordinates or to your mentees. Okay? It's a mentor-mentee relationship man. Dili man siya employee-employer relationship. So, I have to customize, I have to tailor-fit myself. Ako mismo mo adjust. So, it's combination of coaching and mentoring. So, I thought coaching is mentoring lahi, guys, when I joined leadership.
So, what's the difference between coaching and mentoring?
When you say mentoring, my God, I have a system, you copy it, so you mirror it. That's mentoring. Diba? I do this, okay, you try to do this. Okay. But when you say coaching, so during mentor-mentee period ninyo, it's all about me. Ako, mentor, I'll be talking about myself, my system, my execution. And ako, mentee is observe, learn, apply. Observe, learn, apply. But when it comes to coaching, coaching is unleashing the potential of a person, of the mentee, the coachee. And the coach, the subject now, the topic now is all about my coachee. For example, ako imong coach, ikaw akong coachee. Atong istoryahan ikaw, your goals, your resources, your commitment. Claro?
So it's more centered, not really copying, but adapting your style, your leadership style.
That's mentorship. But when it comes to coaching, unleashing your potential.
So what was your main challenge as you started to lead people?
It's numbers game, yapon kay not all. Again, more mo follow yapon ng 80-20 people, no. Only 20% can adapt to copy you. Not duplicate, but can emulate you. There's a big difference between duplication and emulation. Okay, sa emulation, there's this big chance that masurpass nila imong performance. And that's my goal as a leader. Akong mentee should surpass me because that's my short success. If they can earn bigger than me, they can perform way better than me. That's my short success. So, ang challenge lang yun is the number one, the mindset of the person I'm dealing with. Okay, no matter how great the opportunity is, if the mindset is small, diba? Ang result small din. Dako siya goal, gamay siya mindset, Hence, gamay siya action, gamay siya result. Dili align. Klaro?
Yeah.
There's this saying, attitude determines your altitude. So,
I think that's a John Maxwell na quote.
uh,
So what are your principles? What are the principles that you follow as a leader na mo pud nimong gina-implement sa imong team?
kuwan naman ka ng leading people in front naman. Kay dili man nga nakaslikod sila yung pauna. That's typical in employment na, but leadership man good, you have to show the way, you have to show how things are done, you have to demonstrate, di ba? And you have to let them believe that they can do it also. That's why you need to lead in front. So I do this.
So
Modeling.
You show them how it's done.
Di ba parent man ka? Tama. Now, your atong anak, ako no, I always consider my new recruit as infant or baby. They will start na dili pa guys sila ka crawl, but I will entice them to crawl through a stimulation. So mo crawl, di ba? Until I will excite them again or entice them again or influence them again to walk until they can walk by themselves. So more on being with them. And patience is highly needed.
What about those na recruits na don't follow what you tell them? Like you give them things to do and then they don't do it.
Maragya pa nag-relationship uyab-uyab or marriage na.
Like how do you motivate them to perform or to do the things that need to be done?
Ang leadership, I follow the system of the church. Church na to, di ba?
Pray, care, share.
Akuan ka ng sa church, di ba? Gingan na to nga. Kita, we are the wife, the church is the wife of the spouse of Jesus and Jesus is the husband.
You mean sa roles.
Jesus, sa role. So, lead, love, provide, and the spouse just submit, respect, and manage. No?
Yeah.
Magyap pa na akong ginapas pa ang setup na mo no, sa akong subordination. As the leader, I am the husband, they are my wives. So, I lead, love, provide, and then sila, they follow, they obey.
Submit, respect, support.
Manage.
So,
ana ra gyapon nga setup. So, if dili mi mag-click ana, then sadly magbulag yun.
So, if they refuse to submit to your leadership, bulag na.
Kay mo ginang maski sa pangyay ang 48 laws of power, never outshine your master. Follow gina. And biblical principle po ng master-slave.
So, kaning leadership style that you mentioned, you learned this from our church.
Leaders of our church like Pastor Chris, Pastor Alan, Pastor Joseph. Sila business people, magod sila gyapon, di ba? Blessed lang ko ngayon, surrounded by them. Business people. So, aligned ka ba? Kaya I thought, sa una magod, I use earthly principles in running the business. But sa ila, na demonstrate nila na they are using this implying business principles, biblical principles in doing business. Ano lang. Then simple na day kayo.
So what do you do is, for example, like you train this person and then you've been together for a couple of years already and then they no longer want to follow your leadership.
That's my realization. Okay.
Or they want to leave the team. Can you leave the team if the person is under you? Kaya diba the structure of insurance is like there's really an hierarchy.
Pareha ra gid na sa family life niya. For example, kita for once we were infant, diba? And our parents taught us or then developed us as individuals. So we started crawling, started crying, and that dependence na to that life is so high. Then later, when we were teenagers, we believed that we're so good na we're better than them. Kahit isa ka mamina-mina. Igo lang tamo inform nila. And then, about the point na nabalik kaya po na to itong respect sa ila or relationship sa ila because we acknowledge that they are influential. But in terms of decision, kita na we're on our own. Then, about the stage where we got married together. Tama. So, sila po, may subordinates. Mora po, mabot po sa stage niya. They will start their own family na as branch. So, nagyo na nga time. Mabot na
So, if they want to leave, like you let them fly.
Yeah, of course. The best thing I could do is give them all support. And be ready also to accept them as soon as they fall. Okay, again, they are my accountability.
What's the best thing you like about leading people? Okay, diba you mentioned that when you were selling, although you had a high income, although you had the income that you wanted, you were not fulfilled. And you only felt that
nang makapartner ka, not because of your gain only, but every time seeing them achieve their goals.
So that's the fulfilling part. That's what you love.
Oh, kanang making them capable of giving experiences to their loved ones, to their children. Tapos kaya silang kagalingan lang. May ganda na feeling nila. Ako, makita na kung nataon na ako na they're driving their dream or gold car. Or now, sana ako ka manager, nagpahimo siya siyang balay nga tailor fitted yung siyang need. Ana, bitaw din na sa bagong recruit na karon na-achieve na mo yan sa Kenan in less than 1 year. We're working on her house na po, na tailor fitted kaya yung requirement muralog na siya runway kay hilig man tugpuan mo to siya trending dito na siya walk-in closet daw na
may runway. Walk-in closet with a runway.
So whenever they have goals, ako mo i-design of system on how to achieve it. Mo lang akong gift kanang sa math niya side. Ako i-design of system and simplify the system so that it can be executed in a daily manner or weekly manner. Doable siya. Siya na.
Okay. So this is the system that you mentioned. This is what the entire team is following.
Yeah, but generic na mother system but again, ma-tailor fit na siya sa individual kay lahi-lahi mag-pacing, which is i-copy rin pa ng Montessori na rin. Sa Montessori, lahi-lahi lang approach to each student kay lahi-lahi mag-comprehension, skill, lahi-lahi o pacing ang student.
So basically, it's still adapted towards that particular person's learning style.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say are your top 3 strengths as a leader?
Top 3 strengths na ko is kaya calculative ko. If I have a goal, I can translate that to perspective. Di ba goal, perspective. I can translate that to figures, and then timeline, and then
so
schedule.
You can break it down. You can break down your goal into
1 year, 6 months, or monthly or weekly.
Okay, what I noticed is that when most people set goals, they just set the goal and then they just start working. But you set the goal and then you break it down into action plans that can be done on a daily basis.
Tama. And we've known each other for like 7 years na balik na.
Morag, 7 years na.
So, na-witness man siguro na ni mo kung sa kumu-attack sa goals.
Ano so, kay ka? Na-plan yun ka. Very similar ka kang Bujong, kang Jong na when we have a goal, ako kay I just dive right into it. Pero siya kay he really takes the time to plan it out. Kay work sa personality gihapon.
Number 2 na ako is kanang ako slow learner man ko, so I only take 3 learnings every moment, every meeting, whatever, because one day pa na ang meeting. tuloy naka-learning sa akong gina-take and then apply it immediately. So that's my strength po.
Okay. Like the
Immediately ma-apply
ability
na.
to apply
And then,
what you learn.
and number 3, yun na, ang greatest strength ko na ako is the ability to take failures because for me, magod, through my failures, that's where I gained that's where I gained wisdom. And those wisdom, ko na makuha sa classroom.
Yes,
So, ako, welcome mo na ang strength nito. Welcome, din ako ang failure. When
failure.
the
You're
majority...
not afraid of failure when most people are
excited
afraid of it.
Excited to fail. Sa ako, looking forward for new failures.
Because that means that when you're failing, when you have new failures, that means you're also growing and learning something new.
Moving forward. Tama.
You're moving forward, you're improving. Because if you're already succeeding in what we're doing, it means you're already good at it.
Remember, no, kanabitong when you stop growing, you start dying. Just like a tree, no? If the tree stop growing, the tree normally starts dying.
Yeah.
So learning, developing oneself should end when we die.
Yes, I agree. And I believe that that's intention, good ba? It takes intentionality na to continue learning, to continue growing, to not stop learning just because you already graduated from college. A lot of people after graduation, they don't really learn new things na bitaw. They're not so intentional in learning new things or acquiring new skills.
They're so limited po. They think they are boxed in. For example, I'm a civil engineering graduate and now ako yung mga kailangan mo stick na gid sila diyan. When the purpose of going to school is to learn something so that you can monetize it. So the end goal should be
is to
achieving
monetize.
your goal. To monetize, to achieve your goal. But for at that time, mo lang ng means or channel nga mo nakita. Probably to monetize or to earn money.
Has anyone ever told you nga, you're an engineer, sayang, wala ka nag-practice as an engineer? That sayang na mindset na you did not use your profession.
The reason why I took up civil engineering because, di ba, my father died early. I was 14 years old and it was my biggest. Then 2 years after, my mom sold our house in a foreclosure. My biggest goal at the time was to build my own house. Magid na. So that's the reason why I took up civil engineering because I really wanted to build my house.
Because of what happened.
Later, katong 2000, dili into favorable sa opportunity. Ang makasunod kong kumpanya, katong mga Bright, and then napag ko yung Bright nga batchmate nga top notch pero ang starting was minimum Japon sa ana po adili ni fair.
Top notch or minimum wage. But diba, I remember in school, you were always, like you mentioned to me before, na you were already selling. Like, you were already in business even though you were still in school.
I was once told by my mother, grabe ka, no? College, lalaki ka, you're selling lingerie, like, Triumph days na, braog pang.
Like, out of all the products, why did you choose to sell kanang bras?
That's the available opportunity, man. May available opportunity and calculate po na dako kung gain po. Kay women are so particular about their vanity. They're so willing to spend sa college na spend sila kung barang 500 pesos just to para maximize the exposure of their cleavage. Sorry push up bra lagi ko. Mamalit sila. Take advantage ko dito ako i-market. Kartahan kay ko college.
So wala nag-support imong mom at that time or she was paying your tuition?
Wala na kay na cardiovascular enlargement naman to that time. That time sa akong sister.
Self-supporting na ka sa college.
Akong sister sa that time was dili na sa support kay minyo na sa married. So ako po wala sa ganun. Acknowledging that they're married already, they have their own families and their priority now is their family again. So wala na po. I was doing 3 side hustles at that time. Full-time ko sa civil engineering, fully loaded ko. But after 6 p.m., katrabaho ko sa one of the departments sa school, secretary ko, type ko, taman 10 p.m.
Like student
And then,
assistant? Ana?
student assistant cashier. At the same time, uh, the cellphone mountaineering products, bags, sandals, at the same time, to the bra ug panty.
Brow panty. How did you market that to your fellow students? So you would just give them the products and sila na bahala.
Katuran ako na-realize leverage na ko kay I have a trial consultant from commerce, at science, different department sa colleges. Then ako ay trial consultant sa engineering, sa CIT. So, ga-manage na gid ko distributor.
So you had resellers, like it wasn't you who was selling the products personally.
Yeah.
Like you just got the products and then you got resellers. Nag-top ka
pero ako po pero na ko
Kasali
personal self, of course. And doon mo to dagan to close na.
So you really started early, kay even though you were still in college. Nag-start na ka og lead. You were already starting to lead a team.
So the question is why?
People.
Why or how? Because the situation called for it. If only there's this someone who could finance me for my college, di ko mo there baligyan. But at that time, I have to exist. I have to escape from this situation. So I have to finance myself, and I couldn't use that as an excuse not to finish or stop my life because the finances is not favorable sa I'm blessed yapon because I have I have my arms, I have my feet, I can talk, I am physically okay. So, daghang opportunity sa palibot, you just have to work. You just have to do it. And you have two options every day to be happy with your situation or to be sad. It's up to you. Claro.
You know
so
what?
I chose happy-go-lucky kay kunang sa
happy-go-lucky.
Every day.
You know what you said reminds me of what Secretary Art said, because I watched his Tony Gonzaga's interview with Secretary Art. And di ba he's an attorney. But he lived in the slums while he was still studying. Even when he was still studying law, nasa siya sa slum area and there wasn't any running water, so he would have to go to the mag-igib bitaw sila og water. And walay toilet, so the toilet there was the ground nga magkalot pa sila. And then he was studying law na at that time. So it's similar to what he said ba na I'm studying law. So if you find reasons, although the environment was not really conducive for studying, pero walay excuse ba? It doesn't mean to say na even if it's hard to study, should I just give up and stop studying? But since I really want to graduate law, I have to overcome all these challenges and just do it, just study.
Akong goal man good was not about, di ba, kaya uban man good when they started sa first year college, their goal is to finish college and have the degree or have the title engineer, whatever. Akong goal good at that time was clearly by my drive my own car, whether it's company or under my name. Number 2, I have my house. So it's way beyond college. Tama? So sa ako, wala ko na bothered mo pa-take board exam. So until now, sa among batch, we were 13, ako ray hudas. Ako ray wala license. And ako di man license good. Again, many thought it's education or knowledge is power, but sa ako, I always say that clarity of what you want is power. So there are a lot of people who have no degrees and yet they are so successful in life because they really know what they want and they don't mind the opinion of other people. What they mind is their logical thinking, not even their emotion.
So you're not you're not easily swayed by your emotions.
I can manage my emotion. Of course, there's this initial reaction, kay reactive ng ganda by nature. But kabalo ko ma-acknowledge and akong weakness, I have weaknesses, but just that I am so aware of my weakness. That's why ma-manage them.
It's really hard to manage people or to deal with people, because there are really some people who will push your hot button. So what do you do when it gets pushed? Like when someone says something offensive to you, or someone does something disrespectful towards you, how do you deal with that? Especially now that you're already a leader, a lot of people are looking at you, or even with your kids, like your kids are looking at you. So how do you deal with people who are like that?
So kana no, ang common response gyud ana is kuan man kana matouch ang pride, tama kay nana ko diri nga pedestal, and then if someone nga
Who's disrespectful
so ang normal response ana is use my position to intimidate or use my title to intimidate. But ang the best na kong learning sa kinabuhi no is to not to react and not to comment,
to
end
humble.
everything. No, I don't know if you call that humility, but ako kanang robot lang.
Okay, so if someone says something towards you, like you don't respond, or like face to face, and then disrespectful ang way nga pagkaingon.
Smile na lang.
Okay, so you choose not to react.
Okay, there, di ba kanang kapila na isulti sa ato. If you have nothing good to say, don't say it. Don't say it. Ano lang. Sa ako, kay, namagiging malikan, there are people, friends. Ako, mangisi lang ko. Ano na ko? Okay, kapoy na ba? Para lang, just to
cut it.
To cut it. Kaya kung imong sumpayan, magkatay-katay man.
Yeah, and if that person is like a toxic person, you just choose not to deal with that person anymore.
Because you know your value. I know my value. So I don't need to, di ba? I need to go or stoop the level.
Yeah. Because I actually had a similar experience recently. I had a similar experience recently na there's this agent na she talked to me in a disrespectful manner na pwede raman unta tarungon og storya. So, same, wala na lang ko ni-react kay kapoy naman.
The reason why they're behaving like that, because they know their value is so small. That's why they have to edify it, they have to shout it, they have to magnify it kay para lang mulabas sila nga dako. So kabalo na kang ingana sila, ay na lang pansin mo, may lang, give way na lang.
Yeah, wala, chill lang ko, and then in my mind, I will not deal with this person anymore in the future. Avoid na lang ko og kanang any transactions kung naani siya nga person.
Remove na lang nimo siya sa circle.
Yeah, remove na lang. Okay. So Ninong, what are the top 3 characteristics you think an entrepreneur should have? That's my last question.
Di na dapat mawala ang ambition. Okay, kung an entrepreneur, may siya gusto siya may mga entrepreneur pero siya ambition, wag din padungan because that's his point B, his ambition. Tama? Number 2, he should be committed, not to someone but committed to his goal, because again, that's the driver, that's the vehicle, or that's the fuel to drive him to his point B. Tama? Number 3, there should be integrity. Why? Because who's in charge? Siya ba ya? Diba? So even if no one's watching him, he should do what needs to be done every day. Kaya lang kayo. And when you want to become an entrepreneur, you're in charge. You're not pleasing other people. You shouldn't be pleasing other people, but you should be delighting God and delighting yourself. Sana lang. So ambition, commitment, integrity.
Yes, the top 3. Agree gid ko ana. Especially sa integrity na part kay once it's gone, once you lose your integrity, kay lisod na gid siya i-recover.
Oh, yun. No.
Especially na the world is so small, everybody just knows each other. People can easily be reached through social media. So dali ra ka ipangutan na kung unsa man gid ang imuhang personality, if you're really someone who can be trusted or not.
Agree.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Ninong. Do you have anything else to add? Mag-hi kasi mong team. Mag-hi kasi mong team.
Hi lang to all lifesavers in Mindanao. No. again, we are given the opportunity. Every day we have 100% chance to to get what we want. You have two choices: either move forward or quit. When you say quit, 100% no chance of getting what you want. But if you decide to move forward, you have 100% chance, possibility of getting what you want. Ana, Rana. So thank you very much and
Very well
have a nice
said.
day.
Thank you, kay Ninong. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Lex. Bye-bye.
Bye.